वेलकम स्टूडेंट्स एज वेल एज व्यूअर्स। ये आज से हमने एक अलग क्लास शुरू की है नेट के लिए, बिकॉज नेट इज शेड्यूल्ड टू बी ऑन 1 और 2 ऑफ मे एज वी आर इन्फॉर्म्ड एज येट। तो उस नेट के लिए इस 2 महीने में एक चाहा है हमने कि एक यहाँ क्रैश कोर्स शुरू करें, सो दैट कि आई वुड बी जस्ट फिनिशिंग ऑल द मॉड्यूल्स ऑफ योर यूज नेट सिलेबस, एंड per day I will post a video particularly for net and all these what I have written right here. इसके लिए वीडियो नित्य बनेगी और शुरू हम मैक्रो से ही करेंगे. आई एम गोइंग टू स्टार्ट फ्रॉम माइक्रो एंड वी आर लाइकली टू पोस्ट ईच वीडियो डेली particularly for this one net and next year coming GATE and all the other exams. तो उसके लिए आज से हमने काम की है शुरू, और आज से ही वीडियो पोस्ट होना शुरू हुआ है पर्टिकुलरली फॉर नेट के लिए. बच्चे इस पर रजिस्ट्रेशन कराना शुरू कर दिए हैं. दे हैव स्टार्टेड फॉर देयर ओन रजिस्ट्रेशंस. जो बच्चे नए हैं और न्यू व्यूअर्स, दे कुड गेट एडमिटेड और दे कुड गेट रजिस्टर्ड. और आए इसमें क्लास में हम कवर करेंगे इंटायर सिलेबस. इसमें हम प्रयास करेंगे इस 2 महीने में आई वुड बी माई लेवल बेस्ट टू कवर द इंटायर सिलेबस, इंटायर मॉड्यूल. और मंडे टू सैटरडे just I will be explaining your syllabus, and by the weekend we shall be engaging in MCQs whatever we have done in the last week. So एक वीक में जो भी हम लोग करेंगे उसका जो भी MCQs होगा वो हम लोग करेंगे संडे के क्लास में. उसको हम देखेंगे 1 घंटे 2 घंटे की जितने भी क्लास हो वो देखेंगे हम लोग. और वीक डेज में राइट फ्रॉम Monday to Saturday I'll be covering the syllabus. So I'm going to start from microeconomics. उसका जो पहला चैप्टर है उसी से हम आज शुरू कर रहे हैं. बच्चे आइए और इस क्लास का फ़ायदा उठाएं आप लोग. दिस इज़ व्हाट आई एम गोइंग टू स्टार्ट माइक्रोइकोनॉमिक्स. और माइक्रोइकोनॉमिक्स का पहला है फर्स्ट स्टेज कंज्यूमर्स बिहेवियर. राइट, कंज्यूमर्स बिहेवियर. Every microeconomics book world over, be in India or America or anywhere, whenever any microeconomic books is written, the first chapter is consumers' behavior, not the producers' behavior, only on account of the fact that in capitalist economy, consumer is the king. Consumer is the king, and that is why all microeconomics starts from the behavior of the king, that is consumer, and only this is due to the fact that in the classical economics we believed that supply creates its own demand, which was demolished by Keynes, and Keynes propounded that demand creates supply. Demand creates supply, and that is why consumer is the king. That's why we start from the consumer's behavior. Now, what consumer behavior explains? Consumer behavior explains 2 things. Why demand curve is negatively sloped, one thing, and secondly the conditions of consumers equilibrium. The conditions of consumers equilibrium. This is what these 2 things are being explained by consumers behavior. That why demand curve slopes downward to the right, why does not it slope upward to the right, and secondly the conditions of consumers equilibrium. What are the conditions of consumers equilibrium? Now, to explain consumers behavior we have the various theories, and the most earliest or the classical theory is Marshallian utility analysis. Marshallian utility analysis. This theory had some weaknesses and drawbacks, so as an improvement Hicks and Ellen's indifference curve analysis. This theory too had some problems, so thereafter came Samuelson's revealed preference theory, revealed preference hypothesis, and the most recent explanation of consumers behavior is the modern theory of demand given by Hicks. That is probabilistic theory. This is known as the probabilistic theory. So in microeconomics book we do have these 4 theories which explains consumer's behavior, every theory has its own plus and negative points that we shall see later on. But these are the 4 theories which we study for explaining consumer's behavior. Now, the earliest theory is Marshallian utility analysis. This was given by Marshall in his book Principles of Economics that appeared in 1890. Principles of Economics, a famous book written by Marshall in 1890, Principles of Economics. By Alfred Marshall. In this book, he talks of this consumer's behavior. This theory given by Marshall is based upon certain assumptions. Every theory is based on certain assumptions. So this is, first is, utility is cardinal, well known to the students. And the unit of measurement of utility, Marshall believed it is utils. This is unit of measurement. Unit of measurement. Second hypothesis, the second assumption is the marginal utility of money is constant. Now, two question arises that what is marginal utility of money? One thing, and secondly, why Marshall was forced to take marginal utility of money as a constant? So, the basket of goods worth rupees 1 is marginal utility of money. And secondly, why this was assumed? Because Marshall assumed utility in terms of money. So money is a measuring rod. That's why he was forced to keep marginal utility of money as a constant. So money as a measuring rod for utility, and that is why marginal utility of money is taken as a constant. Number third assumption is utility is additive and independent. This means that let any a person is consuming two commodities, X and Y. The utility coming from X is Ux and utility coming from Y is Uy. Now, this assumption says that the total utility accruing to this person A on account of the consumption of these two commodities, so total utility to A would be utility derived from X and utility derived from Y. This is, utility is additive. Secondly, utilities are independent too. This means that utility coming from X is only the function of X and utility coming from Y is a function of commodity Y only. So, Ux does not depend on Y or Uy does not depend on X. This says that utilities are independent, and that is why, due to this weak point, Marshall could not foresee about the substitutes and complements. Marshall failed to recognize the relation between two goods in the form of substitutes or complements only on account of the fact that Marshall took the utility as independent. Ux is not the function of Y or Uy is not the function of X. So, this Marshall could not foresee about the substitute and component. And fourth assumption is introspective method. Yes, Marshall believed and thought that this analysis given by Marshall would go in equal sense and equal meaning to the readers too. So by introspecting within himself, Marshall gave that this is an introspective method. So this Marshall utility analysis is based upon these four assumptions. Based on these four assumptions, Marshall came out with two theories or two laws. Those laws are named as diminishing marginal utility and theory of equi-marginal utility. Yes. So, based on these two assumptions, Marshall gave two theories, and this is law of diminishing marginal utility and law of equi-marginal utility. Now, this explains negative slope of demand curve, and this provides conditions of consumer's equilibrium. Yes, so these two theories was given by Marshall: law of diminishing marginal utility, which explains the negative slope of demand curve, and second was law of equi-marginal utility, that this theory gives conditions of consumer's equilibrium. Now, this law of diminishing marginal utility so this is the marginal utility curve, this is the total utility. Marginal utility curve this explains that as the consumption of X is increased, as the commodity increased, marginal utility is continuously diminishing. Now, this diagram explains explains the relationship between total utility and marginal utility. So, you can see this is total utility and this is marginal utility. Now we can establish a relation between these two in three phases. When total utility is rising, one; secondly, when total utility is at its maximum; and thirdly, when it starts diminishing. So we have to consider three phases of total utility. One is rising, and as long as total utility rises, marginal utility happens to be positive. Now, when total utility attains its maximum, marginal utility attains its zero. So, when total utility is at maximum, marginal utility is zero. And thirdly, when total utility starts diminishing, marginal utility becomes negative. So, third, when total utility is falling, marginal utility is negative. So this is what the relation stands between the total utility and marginal utility, and this is what the marginal utility explains. Now, how it explains negative slope of demand curve. Now you see here, this is marginal utility curve. Second law explains that price must equal marginal utility. Price equals marginal utility. Now, for the first unit, this is the marginal utility. Say this is 1. This will be price P1. Now, when the consumption of X is increased, and when 2 units are consumed, marginal utility falls. Absolutely explains law of demand. Lower the prices, higher the demand. So the price has decreased, demand has increased. So you students never forget that marginal utility curve is nothing but the demand curve of the consumer. That's why marginal utility curve is the demand curve of the consumer. So there is no difference. Both are the symmetrical, both are the identical things. Only because for third unit, marginal utility diminishes. say 2, then price falls to P2. So lower the price, higher the demand. Higher the price, lower the demand. This is how marginal utility explains the negative slope of the demand curve. So this is what about this law, first law. And second law provides conditions of consumer's equilibrium when the prices of goods and the money income of the consumer are given. So this could be understood in one line or rather in one equation. So according to this law, this one, in case of one commodity, one good, the condition of equilibrium is price must equal marginal utility of the commodity. So in case of one commodity market, consumer would be in equilibrium when price equals marginal utility. Very simple. And in case of two goods, let goods are X and Y, market price are Px by Px and Py, utility, marginal utility from X coming is MUX, marginal utility of Y is MUY, and let the consumer's income lying in his purse or wallet is M. Now, this condition seeks that given these two prices of two commodity as well as the income of the consumer, in what way consumer should spend his income so that he is in equilibrium. Now for this we have the condition that marginal utility of X and marginal utility of Y, that is the ratio of marginal utilities, must equal price ratio of two goods, and which must be equal to a constant marginal utility of money. This is marginal utility of money, lambda. So this is the condition of equilibrium, that in the two goods case consumer is supposed to be in equilibrium when the ratio of marginal utilities coming from two goods must equate the price ratio of two goods, which finally must be equal to the constant marginal utility of money. Now this law is also called this law is called law of substitution or Gaussian's second law. This Gaussian's second law, and this is Gaussian first law, or this is also called law of substitution too. Substitution. Why substitution? Let this equilibrium does not exist if MUX by PX is greater than MUY by PY. This is not the equilibrium condition. Of course, there is not the equality. This is inequality. Now, how consumer would reach equilibrium? Consumer does not have any control over Px and Py. Only he can influence MUX and MUY by consuming more or less. This is what a consumer can do. So to establish this equality, this MUX has to be reduced. And marginal utility only reduces when more amount of commodities are consumed. So to maintain equality, the consumption of X will be increased at the cost of consumption of Y till this equality is maintained. So X shall substitute Y till equality is maintained. In just converse case, if MUY by PY is greater than MUX by PX, so this MUY has to be reduced, so Y shall substitute X till equilibrium is restored. That is why this law is also known by the name law of substitution. So this is what these two laws were given by Marshall, law of diminishing marginality, law of equimarginality, on account of two objectives. First one explains negative slope, second one explains converse equilibrium, and this is in gist and in a very concise way, this is what about this Marshall utility analysis as with difference curve analysis and all other theories. Right, for today, this is all. Thanks.